experience, 20 years of interviewing the movers and shakers of Nigeria, what things are happening that makes us believe that the nation is heading towards a greater Nigeria?
Or the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You would get to know that without anybody convincing you, such a person would have as number one priority the care and the affection of the downtrodden at heart.
Excellent.
Because that's where he comes from.
Excellent.
So I'm so happy at what is happening in Nigeria today.
Excellent. Well, one thing you did say is that you went around government ministries and you put government officials on the spot, as well as members of the private sector. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'm ready for you, Reno.
You were Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation. I believe you were one of the longest serving Director Generals. I visited you while you were in office, and I know you achieved a lot of worthwhile, achievements. Under you, a Nigerian won the Miss World pageant. You packaged her. And after that, you also brought Miss World to Nigeria. I mean, along with other people, but principally you drove that. Now, the outside world is listening, they're watching us right now. Can you tell them, as the former DG of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, interesting places to visit in Nigeria and why they should come and visit these places?
Well, Reno, I would even start off by letting them know that it's not just the interesting places. They say the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I would love to let them know that over 100 beauty queens came to Nigeria for Miss World just after Agbani Darego won. And Agbani Darego should be on record that she happened to be the first African to win the most prestigious beauty pageant in the world. And that's Miss World. That happened to be while I was there as DG, as you said. So it was divine. We saw a reason to use her as a brand to market Nigeria, because it had never happened in the history of Africa. So if God has given it to us, why wouldn't we let people know that we have beautiful people in Nigeria?
Beautiful
intellectual. Thank you. Thank you. Intellectual. Very cerebral. Not just beautiful face and no brain. In Nigeria, that's where you get the highest number of the blacks that combine brain and beauty. And you could see that in Agbani Darego. I single-handedly, together with our mother, may her soul rest in peace, Stella Obasanjo, who was the first lady at that time. She is a woman of substance and beauty. She led us to all the countries, major countries of the world, with Agbani Darego, signing the Nigerian brand. And people got to know that beyond the negative things they say of Nigeria, there are beautiful things to say of this country. I must put it on record. But then to go back to the other side of your question, lovely places to visit in Nigeria. I will give a practical case study of what happened. That was why I said the taste of the pudding is in the eating. When the 104, I guess it was about 104 beauty queens representing their own countries converge in Nigeria, wanting to know where to visit in Nigeria, what makes Nigeria tick. Nigeria had been talked about so often. Some of their parents said, don't go to Nigeria, insecurity, blah, 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 blah. And the lady said, no, Mom, Miss India is going, Miss China is going, Miss UK is going, I am going. And they all came. I had the singular privilege as a Director General of Tourism for Nigeria at that time, because, beauty pageant is a tourism product. I had the privilege of taking them to beautiful places within my nation. And it was a thing of pride for me. I must tell you that the very first place we took them to was this beautiful place we call Cross River State in Calabar. We took them from Calabar, they flew to Obudu Cattle Ranch. Obudu Cattle Ranch is a place where people watching me will love to visit. And that's why I want to give them a practical experience of this beauty queens that came visiting Nigeria. By the time we got to Obudu, if I were to describe Obudu as a DG tourism, it's a set of rolling hills towering 2,000 meters above sea level. And by the time you get to the middle of your trip, you're already lost in the clouds. And such a romantic place for lovers to come and visit. And these ladies are vibrant, young, beautiful. They had their boyfriends monitoring them on the phone. And I was so much like their mother, leading them onto Obudu Ranch. And we got there. By the time they were lost halfway in the clouds, they want to touch one another. Are you there? Are you there? Oh, I can't see you. Oh, this is exciting. When they got to Obudu, what's the first thing that struck them? Because we're all in the bus. They had this big bus. And Obudu is, as I said, set of rolling hills, very unwinding. You would think the vehicle would run off the cliff, but it never does. Professional, well-trained drivers. So merely looking at the cliff is exciting. I call that adventure tourism. And they were screaming in the vehicle, oh, wow, I can't believe this. By the time they got to Obudu, we first gave them naturally lovely, how would I put it now, prepared milk from the cows, from the cattle on the ranch. We still have the cattle on the ranch. And then with oven-baked bread, fresh, very warm. They had a taste, they had fun, they came out of the vehicle. And what I found most intriguing, hearing them talk, was the beautiful, well-manicured lawn all over the fields of Obudu. They asked me, ma'am, do they have regular lawn mowers that work on this field regularly? It's too good to be real. It's well manicured. And I tell them it's natural. It's natural. It doesn't grow beyond that, because we're talking of vast kilometers of land space. You would think you're on the ground, but as I said, it's 2,000 meters above sea level. And then for a beautiful watch of various species of birds, for those that love bird watching, in Obudu, till today, you could get as much as 72 different species of birds to watch. Some went for bird watching, some went to the Canopy Broadway, some went to the, what do you call it, National Park, those that are interested in wild animals, and it was awesome. By the time they came back together, having spent their time and their lives on the field, I heard them say, I want to call my mom, I want to call my mom, or I want to call my boyfriend. And that, I just listened, I watched. And one said, Mom, you won't believe it. A good thing you allowed me to come. I'm 2,000 meters above sea level, Mom. And it's exciting. The climate is clement. They call it Obudu. And the mommy was screaming on the other end of the world. I guess that was Miss China or so. And it was very, very awesome. We were there for one night. We have hotels. The Protea Hotel is on Obudu Ranch. When you come visiting, you won't have a problem of where to stay. It's a place you really need to go to, that you'll be able to savour the beauty that I'm talking about. And the following day, we all went to some other features of tourism products within the state. I take delight in saying that when you visit Nigeria, the first place I would want you to go, if you want to have a beautiful feel of adventure tourism and ecotourism combined, is Cross River State. From Cross River State, you go to Bayelsa, the creeks, merely looking at the creeks. That's where our president comes from, coincidentally. I was there some time ago and it was just amazing. We went with my crew at the invitation of the president when he was governor, Bayelsa. We went on the helicopter, so we're able to see large mass of water bodies and the creeks and the boats, how people coexist. And for those that say there is trouble in Niger Delta, there was trouble in Niger Delta. I'm glad to let you know that is a thing of the past now. With the amnesty that the president had brought to the fore, formerly of the former president, may he so rest in peace, President Yaradua, and then handed over to his successor, President Jonathan, Niger Delta is getting more peaceful by the day. And it's awesome to visit the place.
I'm so glad that you mentioned about the Niger Delta, but going back to Obudu, it's very interesting. I really want the world to know that Obudu is one of the last places on earth that is a natural habitat of the mountain gorilla. Is that not correct?
Very correct, Reno. Yeah. You must have been there before.
Oh. Several
times before coming to the US.
Yes, yes. Right. Also, talking about Nigeria, I know that Nigeria is at the cusp, or some people say is at the cusp of greatness. We have on April 9th, that's about 3 weeks ago,